Hey, this is Minister Evangelist Crystal Lashelle Lax. And to me, I feel that it's a very strong message for men only. I lost my son, Antoine Jermaine Lax, Lax, to a senseless murder that took place in Houston, Texas. He was shot in the back. He was shot in the back senselessly um, multiple times by a young white guy named Jeremy Davidson that lived. They was at the in-town suites. They was across the hall from each other. Now his girlfriend Bridget Johnson said that they was getting along or whatever. Then all of a sudden they had some kind of discrepancy with some women being in the midst. And we know sometimes when females is in the midst, they kind of escalate two male bulls, if you will. But it died down. And so Antoine probably went outside that morning to go smoke a cigarette since you can't smoke in the hotel room. He was headed back towards his room, and Jeremy shot him multiple times, and Antoine just fell forward and died at the scene. Unarmed black man. Two guns by the white man. What would you need two guns for? What was you doing in that room that you felt the need to have two guns? Besides the point of that, there's a lot of men out here raging inside, and they try to mask it with a smile, or they're taking it out on innocent people and women and children, and some even take it out on the dogs. Because the reason why I can relate to them is because earlier in my childhood life was nothing but abuse and mistreatment. Richland County, Mansfield, Ohio, where I'm at right now, they can vouch if some of those social workers was allowed, is still around. They know I'm not lying. I don't fault my mom because what happened to me in the past, I overcame it, got counseling, and I worked my way through it. But let me tell you something. Before that counseling now, I've seen men beat the hell out of my mama and my aunties and women in the family. And it made me an angry young woman growing up. I hated men. No, you don't understand. You think you hate women? No, I could go there with you if I bring out the old me and talk about you until I make you feel like you are nothing. You understand? But it took God and it took men that was different from what I seen growing up to help heal that heart. You understand me? So I do know about the built up anger that explode. If you don't talk about it, if you don't find a way to get rid of that built up anger, it's going to explode. And what I learned in anger management is that anger is normal. But when you allow it to go to rage, that's where violence come in. Am I understanding? Are you understanding me? I hope so. Because sometimes you're doing too much talking and you're not listening to me and you're not hearing me. You want to talk about me, but you don't want to take a time out as a man to hear what this woman don't been through. You think that some women don't understand you, baby? Yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know how that young boy that also was in that home where mama was being abused. Yeah, he either retreated, he took a flight, or he fought, tried to fight, defend his mama, but he was too young. So he grew up with that anger of seeing my dad beat on my mama and seeing her that she didn't get us up out of the situation. Understand? Some of you And I'm not afraid to go there with you because I'm a real woman. Trust me from the inside and out. Bruh, at the end of the day, I'm a real woman and I don't bite my tongue because I learned how to express what I've been through and go ahead and share it. You may not like how it comes out. Like my kids tell me, Mom, sometimes we don't like how you bring it, but it's true and it's real, and you always stay real with us because we're in a real ass world, not a fantasy with Santa Claus and fairy tale and fairy dusters. We're in a real ass world, and real ass things have happened to us. And it's okay for you to find a safe person in a safe space as a man to talk about it. You know, some men are too afraid to talk about being molested as a young boy. Like young girls got molested, like myself. You too. Some of you have been too. And it's a conflict in the inside of you. Am I gay? I mean, this person did this to me when I was a kid. Am I gay? I might as well play the role. I might as well. I was born this way. No, somebody touched you and woke that up. If you go to psychology, but then we're gonna move on. See, you can't solve a problem without getting to the root cause. There's always a cause and effect. I learned that in school. There's always a cause and effect. What's the really cause? See, my therapist wouldn't let me just surface a thing. No, Crystal, we're gonna dig in there and we're going to really pull out the hurt. Why are you mad? Why are you hurting? What happened in your life that makes you so angry and so mad that so many minds was so many adults failed me and dropped the ball? Now whatever protected me. I had to learn to protect myself at the age of 17. These grown people did not love me enough to keep me safe and keep me protected. You understand? We can't get into relationship. My first marriage was a mess. I thought that once I got away from that home and got away from anybody that abused me, raped me, molested me, put their hands on me, I'm going to get married. You understand? Rather, he didn't really have a job, but I thought that, hey, he gave me attention. I had babies by him. But the trust issue and betray issue and other things that begin to unfold itself from the inside of you when you're in a relationship sabotage the marriages on his part and my part. He also had trauma. He was the black sheep of his family. You understand? So here you got two unhealthy people trying to have a marriage and children, but you haven't solved your childhood injuries and damages. And you're trying to be up in a relationship. He got damages and injuries. I got damages and injuries of childhood past. You understand? You can't go around hurting people because you're angry. I mean, if anybody, I don't have so much dirt done to me. Even now, they got cameras on me. At the end of the day, they want to exploit me to everybody in the world, and I haven't done not one damn thing to them. You understand? They want to ride on this. Hurt people, hurt other people. No, you got to be accountable. You got to take accountability. Just because you hurt and you don't have a right to hurt other people because they didn't do anything to you. What I learned in therapy, they are not your abuser. Look at that person. You probably have the feeling that you had when your abuser was abusing you, and the anger or whatever you did at that moment to cope through that abuse, if you will, right? But now that you're a grown adult, you can't take your anger out on an innocent person that looked like your mama. or look how she talks. She remind me of my mom or that woman or that man or whatever. At the end of the day, but when you look at them, they are strangers. They don't have a clue on what went on in your life as a child or just growing up throughout the years. They don't have a clue. So why are you taking your rage, your anger out on innocent people? And not, you got it in your hands, the power in your hand to go to counseling like I did. I got to a point, it was the breakup of my marriage, my first marriage. I went all the way up to maybe 350 pounds, just depressed and eating. At the end of the day, I was depressed and eating, and I had 4 kids, and I had to be stuck in the house. I had to be on welfare at that moment in time in order to have some kind of income coming in, and I wasn't feeling good about who I was because I didn't know who the hell I was. I was everything to everybody damn else except me. As long as someone could dictate to me, as long as someone felt that they could control me, they was okay with that. But once I learned how to say no, once I learned how to set boundaries, and no, I'm not going to do it. You'll be waiting a cold day in hell. If I said no, that's what I mean. I said no, right? Setting your boundaries. Some of you are passive men. You learn to be passive. Some of you too strong, you too dominating, you too aggressive. So you push people back from you. Trust me, I've been in all those areas. The doormat that said yes to everything, or being too angry and too aggressive when you felt that people was not respecting you, right? Okay. I want you, see, I don't play no games with nobody. Because when you're dealing with the inside of your feelings, you got to be so real with yourself and God that you got to let all of that out your system. I don't care if you got to write it out and then go burn it. I don't care if you got to write it out and tear the paper up. Nobody sees it. But you got to get it out your system. Because if you don't get these things out of your system, as men and women, I'm trying to tell you, you're going to self destruct. You will self destruct your own self sabotage your own life. Even if you got a good woman, you're going to find some kind of way to sabotage it because you're used to sabotaging things. You're used to people telling you you're nothing but a fuck up. And that's all you're going to be all your damn life. So you're used to fucking things up. You're used to sabotaging things. Is that getting cool? Is that getting in any of your hard head, stubborn, prideful heart and mind? Is it? So I went around as a young teen. I'm mad. I got this big chip on my shoulder because I'm mad at everyone. Didn't nobody give a damn about me. Why should I care about anybody? And there was numb. I'm numb. I'm cold. I'm ice cold in my heart. I don't give a dang. As a kid growing up, they try to talk to me. I had speech problem because the abuse was so bad. I stuttered so bad, or I wouldn't talk to nobody at all. I had a very mean spirit as a kid at the end of the day because I felt unloved. I felt not needed. I felt not wanted. Didn't nobody give a damn. Didn't nobody care about me. Or they would never allow so much stuff to have happened to me as a child. You understand? Okay. All right. So we're learning how to get down to the root cause. And don't play no games with me or your own damn self. Cause now I'm gonna be real from street angle. Don't play no damn game. I want you to learn how to dig in deep, not just the surface. Well, I feel very angry. No. Why? Why? Why are you feeling angry? Why are you so frustrated? Why are you being triggered? Because that's what we call triggering. Why are you being triggered? Do I sound like somebody of your past? Do I look like somebody of your past and it's triggering you? Is there a certain smell? Because sometimes when children are abused, there's a certain smell. that remind them of that moment. Sexual abuse, vinegar. I can remember that. Okay. Fat men with big belly. You understand? So there's a reason why we stay away from certain people. There's a reason why we tend to not like certain people because they remind you of that person that abused you some kind of way. But then we have to look at the reality that that's not the person though. You understand? So you have to get therapy. You have to talk about it. You have to talk about the real root cause. You figure I don't need nobody to talk to. Okay, then talk to yourself and God then. But that self therapy is still not going to work. You actually really going to have to get some tools to help you to cope. Because the reason why you're getting frustrated and the reason why some of you getting so angry, because your coping device as a child that you use for coping, you are growing up out of it and it's not working anymore. Maybe you were sowing angry fits and temper tantrum and outbursts of when you're frustrated and you just didn't know how to express yourself. So especially if you had a stuttering problem or you were shy and you just didn't know how to put your words together and you would get frustrated. You get angry, you get mad because you don't think nobody is understanding you or it's not coming out the way that you want it to come out. So you're being misunderstood, disrespected, undermined, underestimated, right? We're talking about the human male. We're not talking about some made up Hollywood male because Hollywood fake it, make it, bake it, shake it. No, we are actually talking about the real human man. So you can stop killing each other, stop fighting each other over little things. We gotta get through this. One thing that I learned in counseling therapy is that traumatizing as your childhood abuse can be like an onion. You peel back the top part of the onion, and you know when you're peeling the onion and you're cutting the onion up, it makes you cry. Sometimes when you're peeling back the hurt and pain of your childhood, everything that happened, but wait a minute. I don't think that my mind can take it and I know how to block it out and get rid of it. But wait a minute, sometimes we got to walk through the pain or we're just going to stay stuck with that trauma, just staying like got you in a prison state. And it holds you back from getting good jobs. It holds you back from good, healthy relationship, because we lived, those that was traumatized as children, we lived in a unhealthy environment. It wasn't healthy. And they probably didn't know how to be healthy. That was raising us. They probably learned from unhealthy grandmas and grandpas. Beating on your kid was normal because slave master did it to the black slaves. Back in the days, they beat kids with whatever they could find their hands on, and they thought it was normal. I thought that it was normal until I said, God, I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to be like that. I love my kids. Teach me a better way. So parenting class came into the midst of it. Learn how to parent in a different way. You understand? I had to learn new tools. It's all about learning new tools at the end of the day. Because what happens is that, see, as a kid, this were bullies. I think bullies was never corrected. So as a kid, you learned that you could get anything that you wanted if you could bully people, intimidate people, right? And you use your anger, your manipulation, tease, and make fun of people, right? In order to get people to isolate that person and be on your side. That's a form of intimidation. That's a form of bullying people. Now you're a grown ass man and woman. You shouldn't be using those techniques. You shouldn't be nowhere near there because you got children up under you watching you. You are a grown ass man, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and on, and women. You got children up under you. Now, if you want them to take on that generation curse, keep doing what you're doing because they're copycatting you, cyberbullying, cyber stalking, harassing. They're watching you because you refuse to dig in deep and take out the old gunk and garbage. That's what I call old gunk and old garbage and put something new in there, something more healthier, something more newer about yourself. Change the game. You have the power to change. You think that you helpless, you're fuck up, nothing ever gonna change in your life, but you gotta make the change. You can't be taking your anger out on me. I'm gonna put her all on social media. Why? So that you can keep traumatizing me from the years that I've already went through so many trauma. And then you try to put it on my children. I protected my children. I overly protected my children, if you will. My girls was not allowed to sit on nobody's lap. No, not even in church. I would stop everything, go remove my daughters out of a man's lap. Because back in the days, they would sit children on the lap and they would still be fondling on you in a sly, sneaky way. You understand? This message is for the men that is carrying all of that baggage inside. On the outside, you look like you can handle all of the world, but on the inside, no, you can't. And some of you are still like a scared little boy in life. Some of you won't take on your responsibility. Why? Because you feel that you're going to fail at it anyway. You already predicted that you're going to fail at it. And then when you see yourself succeeding, you purposely will sabotage a relationship. You purposely will sabotage good things that is happening. Why? Because I did it. You're afraid that, oh man, things is actually working out. Because you got so accustomed to bracing yourself, just like a woman, bracing yourself, because I'm always expecting something bad to happen in my life, right? So I'm only sharing with you what was taught to me. And I hope that it becomes an inspiration. In spite of what people are saying about me, I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. I know who I am, where I am, and where I want to go. And that took me to be by myself away from toxic energy flowing people that only put me down and they don't build me up. That means that they don't have our best interest at heart. You understand? They don't have no goodness in them. So how can they build me up when they got negativity and hurt feelings that they refuse to resolve in their life? Let's make this new year, since people like to do a new year's resolution, or yeah, all of that. Why don't you instead, I'm gonna lose weight, or you can do that anytime through the year. But won't you make a resolution that you will solve, that you will be the solution to your problem, to your inward problem, your hurt, your pain. You are the responsible party of yourself for you to get up and go research good psychiatrists, therapists, counseling, peer group is like awesome. Man, when people of your own peer that went through the same thing you went through and you could connect to them. It's not somebody that can't connect to you. It's like people that went through the same thing and they're just sharing like what I'm sharing with you. And I hope that I'm helping somebody, because nobody come back and tell me nothing. Everybody act like they just hate me. For what reason? You mean to tell me that many people is hurting in the world that all of y'all damn ass hate me? At the end of the day, I'm not looking for your validation. I'm just making a statement. I already validate myself, and so does God, and His Word validate me. So I don't need a man to validate me. And before I thought that I did, but God took me out of that situation, set me aside, and isolated me to for Himself, if you will. And some of you may have to be isolated by yourself. Some of you got anger problems and you're just not ready for a relationship. You probably desire one. But the minute you get triggered, you can't contain yourself. You haven't learned the tools to keep yourself from striking a woman down. Because you ain't like what she said. To verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse. Or I'd rather see that heifer or that bee or witch with no money. That's financial abusing a woman. She has a right to take care of herself just like you as a man. Come on now. What would you do if you ain't had no money in your pocket? You can't go get soap. And if you was a woman, you need some Kotex, you need other things than a man to keep yourself clean and keep certain area clean and refreshed. So why would you as a man want to withhold money from a woman that needs so much to keep up with herself? Then you want to down her about what she looked like? Okay, I need you to do something for me. Because it's like with some of them, oh man, it's like they do battles and make me do it. No, I'm not going to play no games with you, bruh. This is your walk in life. This is your journey in life. This is for you to do as a grown ass man. I ain't got to make a grown ass man do nothing. So, this is what I suggest you to do. That's all I can throw out on the table. Hopefully, you grab it and start eating on it. I want you to start off just with yourself and with God. Well, I don't believe in a God. Find Him then and start believing. At the end of the day, what else do you believe in? Negativity and cruelty and mistreating people, killing people, violently striking people? Huh? Is that what you believe in? How far that's going to get you is either jail or the grave. How far that's going to get you? Well, your anger is going to send you to jail or it's going to send you to the grave. Which one do you want? So if I was you, I started off journaling. Yeah, there was a white lady that taught me how to journal out my thoughts because I couldn't speak and because I was stutter. I was so abused to the point where I was stuttering. You understand? And they put me in speech therapy, and then I just started slowing down and just practicing or I substitute words. You understand? I want you to invest in yourself. You know how to invest in your clothing, your gym pass to get your body and your abs and on point, but your inside is messy and it's out of shape. You sloppy in the inside of you. You may look good on the outside, but inside you messy. You all discombobulated. You're so confused and like a whirlwind inside of you, like storms is going on inside of you every damn day. And you don't know how to make the storm stop. So you take your anger out. You look at with some of them, you look at some innocent person. Hi, how are you doing? What you smile? What you talking to me for? Bitch, I ain't asked you to speak to me. I mean, some of them, that storm, the storm is raging inside of you. It's only going to be a matter of time where a storm become violent, like a whirlwind or a tornado. When you going to say that enough is enough of this mess? Man, I'm so tired of doing the same old, being the same old way, man. I got to have a change. This ain't no ABC after school special speech, neither. This is real talk. Woman to man, man to woman. But I don't been through some things that men have. Some of the men haven't even been through it. I don't lived in East LA. That's all Mexican territory. And we're the only black people up in there. And at first they was giving us a hard time because they figured that we was coming, black and Mexicans in LA, they're kind of separated. But they seen that we was in trouble making black people. So they took us under their wing and we became their family. You understand? But at first it was rough. I had to stand between those gang members there because I had two boys. I had a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old that was growing, and they normally start going after those boys at 13 and 14. So I called my sisters to see if I could come towards them and hey, keep my kids safe, get them up out of LA for a minute. You understand? And they smoke weed with my kid. I was trying to get them away from this, smoking weed with the teenagers, sitting up there trying to hook up my 16-year-old that's already pregnant, trying to hook her up with dudes and stuff. And so you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I lived on 45th and Main in LA. That's mainly Crip. Up in the 100 is Hoover and the Jungle. Santa Tomas Drive, I lived there. That was the jungles, mainly the Bloods. But out of all these places, the respect came to me because I respected the streets and the streets respected me. Some of you young ones, you think you can run the world, huh? You think that you can just walk up on people territory that's been there for a minute and talk that stuff and keep popping off at your mouth and think that nobody gonna check you. OGs ain't gonna check you. They will. Whatever kind of anger that you feeling, you need to check yourself with RESPECT. And female OGs and the OGs. Trust and believe that. But we want to make ourselves better. I always strive for better, aiming to make myself better. This is why I make messages, because I'm talking it out and I'm sharing it with other people. I ain't used to share nothing. I didn't used to open myself up to nobody. I was shut down, numb. The heart was cold. You understand? Numb. No emotions being shown. Not really. At the end of the day, it wasn't until I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ in my life, December 4th, 1989. And then I asked him for the gift of the Holy Spirit. And I felt this warm wind come into my heart. And it felt so loving that I just broke down and I just started crying. He broke me down. You know how some men out there trying to do that old slave man mentality and pimp mentality, breaking a woman down? I already been broken. My wings have already been broken. And it's been broken by the best. And that was God Almighty. He penetrated me. He got through to me. When nobody else could, he did. God softens up your heart. God warms up your heart when it's cold as ice and bitter. It makes you feel that, you know how when it's snowing out and that rain come down, but then it turns to cold and it's ice. That's how your heart is for some of it. Some of you, that's why you can't feel for other people. You don't have empathy. I never had empathy as an abused child growing up. So you can't relate to other people. You can't feel. So you become center and narcissistic, all about you, all about your feeling, all about your emotion. And you can't see how you're hurting other people. But we need to get to the point where you see through in the inside of yourself crystal clear. And I believe that God allowed me to go through so much things that a man would go through. I don't lived in places that those dudes, if you was a man coming up in there, they would say, homie, where you from? What set you from? You understand? You wasn't going to make it out without getting beat up. So how dare you, some of these men going around disrespecting me? I don't live in situations that you can't even hang, bruh. Some of them are so feminine. Some of them are so bougie that wouldn't work for you. You wouldn't be able to survive. I worked all kind of jobs, taking care of 4 kids by myself because I had to be the provider. But to see, it's like, why I gotta go through this? Because God was also showing me, you see how a man gotta go out there and be a provider, and the responsibility of the money is on him. You understand? It's on him. Then you got to pay all these bills. You got to take care of all those kids. And then yourself. That's even if you have enough to buy you a pair of shoes. Well, some men are in the same situation. They want to do better. They want more money. But some of them is limited. But yet got a whole load of responsibility on them. And then trying to please women. And they figure that if they charm, that's the only way I could get women. And then eventually I get triggered, and then the abusive man come out. The beast comes out. And some beat their women to stay with them. Some, you just push women away. You're too aggressive. You're too overbearing. You push women away. You're too bullifying, selfish, greedy, all about you. But see, somewhere along the line, you use that as a coping mechanism. You was determined to make it all about you for a reason. Maybe you was a doormat. And you said yes to everybody under the sun as a man. Yeah, okay. But then you got to a point, I'm tired of being used by people and disrespected and overlooked. Because you're a human being, right? Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Because some like to act like they damn robots and they don't feel. They don't feel nothing. Like to do all that macho toughness stuff. But in the inside, at the end of the day, yeah, there are those true feelings inside. And they need to be worked out. They don't need to be exploded out, violent out. They need to be talked out. Or you need to start with a notebook and a pen. Go to the dollar store, go buy your whole pack of pens and some notebooks, maybe about 3 or 4. For some of them, you probably need about 10 of them because you got a lot of stuff going on inside of you. And it needs to be written out in a journal. Well, I really don't write. I don't give a dang. Even when you take a pen and you just start writing, even if you're doing doodling, but you write out my thought, writing, and I'm mad because this happened to me, and my mom had that boyfriend all up in the house. You need to write it out because writing it out also eventually will help you to verbally express it. But you have to write your thoughts out first because it's something about writing. It collects your thoughts, and you're not just spitting out thoughts. You're taking time out to really concentrate on the words that you want to say, that you're thinking of, and then you're putting it on paper, and then you're expressing out. You're getting it out. You're getting your emotion, your anger, you're frustrated. I'm frustrated that these men got me on the camera, and I can't wait till they get caught and go to jail. The end. Making want to isolate me like I'm the only big side black woman in the world. Want to sit up there and make fun of me like I'm the only ugliest woman on the planet. No, that's you trying to be a hateful man because of your anger inside of you. Don't take that out on me. You cause trouble in your own life because you don't want to deal with the past hurt and the pain and your childhood hurt and pain. But you know what, sir? That little boy got to heal. And you, the grown man on the outside, you're the only one that can help him to heal from the inside. That's your inner child. They got a book on that, helping your inner child. Because you still trying to cope in a childish ways with some things. Because that child learned how to cope like that. Rather it's temper tantrum, rather it's angry, you're so fit if your mom wouldn't give you certain things, you'll pout, you'll go silent, you won't talk to no dang body. Then yeah, that's to fix you. I won't just talk with you then. That's not communication. That's not proper communication. That's just gonna make situation worse because now she's feeling rejected or they're feeling rejected. And so in therapy, we learn to say the I word instead of you, this, and blame word. So I feel, and I'm just passing this on because this is how they taught me. I feel that you don't love me no more. I feel that I'm not good enough for you no more. I feel instead of saying you just think that I'm not good enough for you. You hate me, don't you? Don't you? Yeah, you don't like me as a woman, do you? No, I feel that you have some animosity, some hate in your heart towards me. Is it true? Like we just have to find new communication way of talking to each other. Me and my son, oh, before he died, oh, there was some issue that we just go ham back to back. And at the end of the day, we just learned, we started taking a break and said, okay, we can agree to disagree. And I'm so glad that we didn't have one of those mom and son moment that he died in peace. I received his death in peace. Just think if I would have said some hateful things to him before he died. Just think if we would have had one of those debate argument that night before, and I find out that he's dead, Antoine. So what I need you to do is I need you to get better for those that you know who I am talking to, and you know that I'm not playing with you. And you know I am keeping it very real with you. Like a sister from the street, I ain't got time to play with you. I don't have time for you to be playing with yourself. I need you to work on this so that you will get the dream relationship, so that you can get the woman that you're looking for. You're so violent, you're so aggressive, or you're too passive that you let people just run all over you. No boundaries. So basically, she's looking at this. He doesn't care enough for me that if I was self-sabotaging, he would just let me do it. Boundaries, right? At the end of the day, sometimes you looking for a woman, does she really care about me? At the end of the day, see, it's amazing how you could be a strong man, but that right woman come into your life and bring nothing but sunshine and light and even help you to change and get better. You help her to change. You probably make her a little bit more tougher. Maybe she's the passive one and let everybody run over her. Then you come and you kind of toughen her up a little bit. Or maybe she's toughening you up a little bit. Or maybe she's calming you down. You're a beast. And you trying to talk to me? Don't talk to me like that. Don't present yourself like that to me. You come and approach me like you're a human man and you're a grown man. The same way that you would be doing a stranger. Hi, how you doing? What's your name? Okay, that's a gentleman. But how can you learn to be a gentleman when you've been so used to being a wild, out of control stallion? Does it make sense? Maybe not because, I was told, all my life. There was some crazy black woman insane, and there's no way at the age of 58 that I know anything, even though I went through therapy, at the end of the day, and I'm still looking for group therapy for the murdered parents that got murdered children. I'm still looking to join up that as well. You understand? So that I can be among people that can relate to me and I don't have to feel like I'm the only one going through this by myself. See, I reached out to them because I said I need to change the game. And with Crystal, it's always about changing the negative to the positive. And I hope that that would be about you as well. So what I need you to do is what? To get a pad and pen, right? That's what I need you to do. I don't care if you're that's 65. No, it's writing, bruh. There's male writers. Stop being so macho and try to act like you need to be tough all the damn time. You understand? Even you see gang members and gangsters that was in San Quentin and in these heavy prisons don't turn towards God, but God don't broke them. So who are you to always act like I gotta have this exterior toughness and talk bad about Crystal and down Crystal and bash Crystal in front of all these men? You know what we used to call that back in the days? Cock blocking. That you want to cock block other men from coming into my life and maybe helping me as well, making my life better. You understand? Sometimes your ex will do cock blocking because they don't want to see another man to make my life better that he couldn't do, or he couldn't understand that he couldn't do it. You understand? So I need you to dig down deep because you are a human being. That's what I'm acknowledging you. That's what we call acknowledging you and your existence. I'm acknowledging you as a man. You can take it in a negative and keep on talking bad about me on the tip of your tongue, or you can hold your peace for a moment and you can go and mind your own business, literally, and plow your own field, literally. That means go and mind your business from the inside of you and take that shovel and start plowing and start digging up and write it down and write it out. That's one task and that's one assignment. That means all the abuse, whether you male, female, write it out. Get that out first because when you learn how to express yourself on paper, you're going to learn how to express what happened to you verbally and in groups. And you don't have to feel ashamed and you don't have to feel isolated and you don't have to feel alone. Do you know that the suicide rate is very high in men? Let me say this again because I'm reaching out to you the best way that I can. And you just don't want to hear me. You just don't want to listen. You want to listen to garbage than real talk from a real woman that don't been through some things that men go through. And I ask myself, why can't I be a woman? Well, I don't understand. Why can't I have like the pretty little pink or nails done all the time, makeup on all the time? I'm always roughing it. I'm always going without. I'm always being up short. I always got to look for a job. I'm fighting for everything. I'm fighting for people. I'm fighting all type of men from all type of race people, and I'm just one woman. Why can't I just be a little petty, but what they call it, little pretty and pink little woman and leave me alone, Lord? Why does it seem like I always got to be going through some rough things in life? Because the only way for me to have connected to my son is for my son. I let him express how he felt, and I let him say what he needed to say. And then when we come to a disagreement, he'll say, okay, can we take time out? And I'll just call you back. Or sometimes we'll block each other. Like we can block each other from our life. But he'll block me and I'll block him back. You know, at the end of the day, this is just one of those sons and mom moments. But then He always came around. This is what I appreciate about my son once he started working on himself, because he also sent counseling, and then he got an associate's degree in psychology, and I think that that was helping him. That's what helped me. Also, I enrolled myself at American River College, and I took psychology because I wanted to know what was going on inside of me. I just didn't want to sit back and wait for somebody to just dictate or diagnose you. Nobody can tell you about you but you, because you're the one that lives inside of you. Nobody can tell you. The only thing that the doctor can do is go by what you tell them, what's going on, what you've been experiencing in the inside of your body. But you're the only person that really knows what's going on. So that part is what you call self-therapy right there. And then with God. And then with the other, I want you to make one notebook for you. Write my anger out. Then I need you to write, then I need you to have one notebook to write to God. Even if it's one word, God, I don't understand this shit. Write it down. Write it out. God meets you where you are. Write it out. Then you're gonna find your conversation with God gonna start getting deeper and deeper. Hey, how are you? I'm doing my videos. I do messages on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm about ready to wrap this up. It's like 51:28. So that's how long this video is. But I hope that it helps some of the men out there. I mean, that's hurting. I think that's what I'm going to put: men that are hurting from the inside. We need to clean you out. God probably got a wife for you in 2026, but come on, bro. You don't want to be hitting on no woman. Bitch, I can't stand you. And you taking all of that anger out on her. And some of them are really petite. You're taking all that anger out on a little kid. Broken bones and stuff. Come on, dude. Come on. Control your emotions. Put your own self in anger management classes. Put your own self in therapy. Why wait for a court to tell you to do it when you have the power to do it on your own? You understand? I hope so. And I hope that you find it more inspiring for you to change. Make that change. Like Michael said, it's starting with the man in the mirror. You understand? Make the change. Make that change. Well, I don't want to talk about no God. At the end of the day, He's been keeping you this long, and you came across my message, whoever listened to it, and listening to it right now. Because some of you have to make a change. You're too old. You're too old to be talking about women, and you don't go through what they went through: childbearing, um, periods, menopause, surgery, the hysterectomy, and these fibroids that get. I had a 13-centimeter fibroid. Then I had to have a bowel obstruction all on my stomach. My stomach was butchered. But who are you as a man to tell other men that I'm wrong for just being my own damn self? You go praise BB Health, but my body is no different than them. I got big hips naturally, big butts natural. Everything on me is natural except hair and nails, or maybe eyelashes. Why am I being put down for something that has always been natural on me, God given natural? I don't have to get no silicone plastic or no gel injected in me. But I'm not here for my body to please a man, because I said a prayer to God. I said, God, I'm tired of men using my body. Don't send me no one until man accept me for who I am. If he accept you while you a big fat woman with maybe 50 pounds to lose, then this man, at the end of the day, this is a find. He's a fine, and I'm going to keep him because that's exactly what I prayed to God about. I don't want to just give my body to no man. I don't want to just lose weight for no man. I don't want to put myself on no dang diet and not be appreciated. He ain't dieting. Why he ain't trying to lose weight? He got that big old belly and receding hairline. I'm not talking about him. Why he talking about me? Are you willing to change for me? Like you do all of these lists of how you want a woman. But wait a minute, bruh. You at the market shopping, but you got to pick out what meat that you want. And then that woman, that's how they see us as meat in cars. Uh, that woman got to be the one to say, well, yeah, I'll go out with you. Yeah, I'll marry you. She does have a say-so in your relationship. Or you ain't got no relationship. You just got yourself. So all that old male tradition that you was taught by granddaddy and dad, maybe they wasn't doing the right thing neither because they seen men grow up and hit on women. So maybe they was copycatting that. That's the only way I could get women to do what I say is to do what daddy did or granddaddy did. And now you got a generation of abusive men. Is that how you want your son? Is that how you want your grandsons? Is that how you want your nephews to grow up? Change the game. You too old to be acting like a child and name calling me and other women. You see how I just took time out to feel what a man is feeling? Why don't you take time out and step out of yourself, narcissistic self, and just imagine being a woman and how she must feel, especially without a dad to teach her anything. She had to learn it on her own. And that man not showing her love and all these men that she don't see was very abusive. No love in them. Are you going to be that jewel? Are you going to be that gem to show women something different about you? And then, but I keep picking the wrong. God told you, you got the spirit of discernment. If you read the Bible, why aren't you discerning? Or you just looking at the body and not looking at the spirit, looking to the spirit of a woman, the soul of a woman. You understand? All right, then. It's 57 minutes. I've been on this long. But I always made a promise that God, I want to inspire and help people. That's why it's called Crystal Wax Inspirational Messages on some of my YouTube channels. Because I hope that people would hear my words and hear my voice for a change. Because I do got something to say, and I do have a powerful story of everything, all kind of things that happened to me over the years, even cyberspace stalking now, from men that's hurting, wounded, and they want to hurt me per se. They at least want to try or break you down. At the end of the day, man, my wings been broken. Trust and believe it. Only God can do that. I'm trying to tell you, God put you through whirlwind storms when you're being disobedient to Him, when you're being rebellious to God. Oh yeah, you're gonna be broken. By the time He let you go through all of these whirlwinds of storms, and mine is confused. At some point, I didn't know. My mind was so confused in relationship, in my career, on the job. It's like at the end of the day, disobedience and rebelliousness will send you there. And God will allow it to happen, like He allowed great kings to sit on the throne. But they also got dethroned. Some kings, King Saul, when he disobeyed God, and he allowed Saul to have a tormenting spirit on him. And it only took David, King David, when he was a little lad, to come and soothe him with music. God will allow you to go through some mental ill storms, mental health storms, insanity, madness, blindness in your mind, because you still want to be stubborn, prideful, and still want to do your own thing and don't want to break down for God. You don't want to break. You being stubborn up against God, like not even God can break me. If God can break those gangsters and those game makers now, you're gonna break pretty soon. Yeah, you on the edge of breaking. You the right thing just haven't triggered it yet. Like your wife walking out on you for good because she's not taking no more abuse, no more financial abuse, holding money. You ain't got nothing in her name. It's supposed to be a joint marriage, but you don't have nothing in her name to make her feel like she's a part of your team. You're controlling everything. You want to control everything. And you know what that is? That's the spirit of Jezebel. That's the spirit of Jezebel. Jezebel was a manipulator, control freak, and a murderer. She murdered the prophets, but she suffered such a terrible, tragic death that the horses, she fell out the window. Horses dragged her throughout the town to the point there was no more skin. The dogs licked and devoured the rest. Evilness just piled on more evil in your life. Sorry to tell you. Being bitter and anger all the time. Don't you want to feel God's joy? Don't you want to have such a joy to the point that I just lost my son 3 months ago, but God still give me the ability to sing, smile, talk, and socialize with people. Not isolate myself to become depressed and oppressed and repressed and suppressed. Right? So you need to write it out. You need to start journaling. You need to start writing out your feelings. And then you can burn it. You ain't gotta, man, I hear no pussy ass niggas. Please excuse my language, but hey, that's how they talk nowadays. Yeah, I ain't gonna be sitting up there. Yeah, you need to. You just from that alone, write that down. I ain't no pussy ass niggas. Write that down too. Yeah, get all that gunk out your system, all that garbage, all the gunk and everything out your system. So one is for you to get the gunk out. Maybe you can make a title that this is my gunk notebook. This is my God notebook. And this is my Holy Spirit notebook where I want the Holy Spirit to do change in my life. And I need to write it out first because I don't know how to pray it out. So you should have 3 notebooks that you work out of. Your me, and then your God notebook and your Holy Spirit notebook, or what you want the Holy Spirit power to do in your life and how you want them to change. And then there's something about that. You don't even have to force it. It's like it begins to work its own self out just automatically, like the universe begin to work it out for you. And I haven't done that myself. It's called cleansing. It's cleansing your system from all the negative feelings and thoughts that you have, and anger, bitterness, resentfulness, animosity. Mom always loved. And even if you don't want to sit up there and tell your mom that, you can always write it down. This is your own privacy. It's your own thing that you can write down anything. And I think that my mom was a bitch. And I think my daddy was, yeah, and you just write it down. Who else gonna read it but you? You feel me? So peace out, man. Um, yeah, we're gonna end it like that. I hope that you heard something and you stop being stubborn on change and you become the game changer. You change the game for your son. You change the game for your grandchildren. That you're not going to have a generation of abusive, angry, and bitter men that walk around like they're going, or racist men. Now, I don't want that stuff in my family. I don't want my kids to be affected by that. That's how you should be. Peace out.